Welcome back. This is going to be another DIY AI music video. And what I want to do today is explore some of the capabilities of Music GPT with the little help of Audacity and a sound effect. Now, one of the things that caught my attention with Music GPT was you're able to attach music files and then, in a weird way, remake them or recreate them. So what I was thinking for a while, and I want to experiment with this, and this is going to be a tutorial on how I do this. What I wanted to do was take a cricket sound and mix it into a probably a dubstep track or a death step track. But we're just going to play with how this comes out or how it would come out if AI was to mix it in. So first thing I want to do, I want to get my cricket sound. So what I'll do is open Audacity. And it looks like it. Let's try that again. I guess I didn't close it properly. I had yeah. All right, so I thought I had it closed. Just skip it. Okay. All right, we're going to open the cricket track. Now in my files, I have it in my download folders. Let's see here, downloads, crickets. All right, we want to clean this up a little bit. So what we'll do is we're going to get rid of the beginning. Oops. Get rid of the beginning silence. And we want to play it back. All right, sounds okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the end. And let's start with the initial sound. So we're just going to have the straight chirping sound, no fade in, no fade out. All right, and we're going to export the audio. We're going to call this Crickets 2 because you don't want to overwrite your original file. And actually, well, I don't want to move this around. We'll put it back in that folder. All right. So now that that's done, it's not going to save anything. Okay. Now this is showing you some of the features of the subscription. So you have $9, I believe this is a month, yes, or you can have it bill you yearly. You have your Pro, which is $16, and then your Ultra, $32. Now, if you watch my prior comparison videos on music generators, the the type of music generator that you work with, you have to pay for the subscription to get better quality sounds or better quality variations and generations of the songs you're trying to generate from the prompts. And I personally feel the Eleven Labs, being that they were around almost 10 years ago, they have a better library of music to generate from. But I'm willing to play with other generators to get different sounds, different varieties also. All right, so back in Music GPT. Now, the first thing you want to look at is what type of models this software uses. Because, again, you don't want to create a genre that's too complicated for the AI to mix and then it sounds like crap or it it struggles to generate it. So you want to see what genres it has in its library, first of all. And I do a lot of electronics, so I'm gonna look for electronic genres like house vocals, deep house, um, future bass, progressive trance, hyper pop. That's probably fast paced pop or goth pop. Vocal drum and bass. That's almost like a mix of like trap. You have techno house. You have hyper techno, which is almost considered to be like industrial, almost. You have hard style, festival EDM, which is similar to rave. All right, so that's what it has in its library. So what I was thinking of doing is taking the cricket sound and blending it with dubstep and then transitioning to deathstep. But we don't necessarily have that as a genre, so we're going to do something within this library. So first things first, we're going to use festival EDM because I want it fast paced. Then probably throw in a hint of metal with a little bit of the hard style and probably techno. So that should bring it close enough. Okay. So we're gonna upload the file first. And keep in mind you have other tools. You can pull in a YouTube video, you can record and upload your files, and you can pull your own tracks in and recreate it. And you also have your tools, which is mostly under subscription based. So you have the sound generator, which creates sound effects, text to speech, which honestly, 11 Labs is really good with that. But a lot of generators are moving towards that also. You have the remix, which hopefully, if I use this a lot, I may get the subscription to try to remix. So I can remix my songs into VIPs. And of course, you have replace, which replaces the part of the song so you can embed other genres in your song. You can extend your track longer, add vocals, and add instruments. So it's got some unique tools in here that most generators do not have. That's why this was a good find, a very unique find I found on Instagram. All right, so back to what we're doing. Oh, and I'll discuss these two. So we're going to upload our file. And if you remember, it was on the F drive. See, music projects, SoundCloud, Crickets 2. All right, there we go. Now it's giving me the tools to use, but again, I don't have a subscription, so I can't really use any of these. So we're going to go with type it out a prompt. It already selected instrumental, and we're not going to add any lyrics, so it's going to keep it within instrumental segment. All right, so what we're going to have is we're going to add, let's see here. I don't know what that is. That's in my way. Oh, this. I mean, it's close to translate. But anyway, um, we're going to add techno or tech house, comma. Actually, let's go with a hyper techno. Well, no, let's do this. Tech house mix with hyper techno, then comma, hard style, comma, metal, or actually we'll use metal kick drums, metal kick, bass, drums. Now, because you can actually describe what instruments you want. You don't have to just go into generic prompts. It's better to try to describe what instruments you want so you can get more specific tones. And then, and festive, festival EDM. So that's going to be the dance part. All right. Now we're going to extend and make the prompt a little more advanced. So we'll say create a song mixing the cricket sound effects with the drum beats per minute, or I should say with the drum BPM transition these songs from intro to end, comma. So we're going to try that type of prompt. In fact, and let's just do it. Festival EDM for outro or end. Let's do songs ending, something like that. So we're going to try this. And again, this is just experimental, just to see what it does with this sound effect. And most likely it's going to use 100 credits. So it's going to leave me with 300. And it's going to generate two samples. All right. So we also can see what controls offer. Um, oh, there. Well, everything is set to its highest. And you can see the prompt intensity controls how close the AI follows your prompt. It's already set pretty high for now. Um, if you pay for Pro, you can actually adjust this. All right. And of course, you saw your tools. Okay. And you can add as much as you want. But we're just going to use crickets to see what we get. And it's generating. Now again, version 1 and version 2, it's just two versions of the AI generated model. So one is going to sound better than the other. And as you can see, it took 100 credits. But that's pretty good. Most generators will use a certain amount of credits per generation. Now, granted, I'd say this is using 50 credits per generation, which is pretty low. That's not bad for 500 credits. So if you're good at describing the track you want, picking the genre it has in its library to match, and you can probably drop a good amount of songs within 500 credits. Now, you will need some credits to download the song, and again, that song is for you to keep with very low limitations from what I understand. So just keep in mind, um, at least leave yourself maybe 200 credits to download at least four of your favorite songs, at least. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until the next month, which, if you're willing to wait until the next month, then hey, that's great. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, all right, so right now it's mastering the song. So I'm just going to wait just a little bit. Not sure how long that will last. But once it's finished, it will be ready to play. This is basically a dashboard. It's showing you some of its features. I don't think you have video options. I know they just probably have that in there to promote, but if they do, it's probably in the pro subscription. And you can use this in other apps or generators. Which actually I've thought about if I create my own avatar, add some of the features in there, like even a music generator will play other people's content just to add for added exposure. But I don't know. I find other people's generated AI music content it's kind of meh. You know, some of it's good, some of it's not. So it's it's something to think about. But when you're using all these generators, if you're getting into API programming, it'll be nice to add it into like an avatar, so you have your own base library. We can, you know, go to it without having to constantly open everything separately. Or you can tell your AI, hey, open this, open this, open this. You know? So I don't know. It might be finished. Let's go ahead and check this out because it should have finished just a while ago. I'm not sure what's taking so long. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's still. All right, there we go. I was a little worried. All right, so we're going to start with version one. As you can see, it has two different times. We're going to start with version one, see how it says. And you can see 50 credits. And to get unlimited downloads, you have to pay your subscription. So make sure you keep that in mind. Um, keep, like I said, at least 200 credits, at least, if you're doing this for free. This song is more like one of those nature house style songs, you know, probably like, I don't know. I'm not into house music, but I guess it'd be more into a house style genre. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely got that EDM flavor with a little bit of trance, I would say. Yeah, so not bad. Now, unfortunately, it's not playing the crickets; it's playing forest from the background music instead. All right, let's play the second one that was done in version two. Okay, I think I figured out what it did. The bird chirping is the cricket sound. They just made it sound like birds. So it's following the prompt that I told it to do, play the cricket sound to the beats per minute, and unfortunately, it's trying to blend the cricket sound with the different variations of drum beats. So yeah, that's pretty wild. So let's go back. Let's see here if I can see about my generation. Download, add queue, attach to prompt. No. All right. So you click on your player and then it will show you your generation. Thank God it's still the original. Let's see what more actions. Why did they do that? Oh, that was my right click options. So what we're going to do is, there we go. It doesn't have anything for remixing. So we're going to redo this prompt and try a different method. Minimize. Okay. So, and this is cool because in Suno, you don't get your options all in your player. You have to go into your library list, click on the little dots to pull up all the options you have, even your generated prompt. So this makes it easier to find, which is great. So we're going to try something different. Let's see, create a song mixing the cricket sound effects with the drum. So yeah, that was my mistake. I had it mix the cricket sound effects with the drum BPM. So instead of mixing, um, let's try create a song syncing the cricket sound effects with the drum beat. I should say drum beat, not the drum BPM. All right, transition these songs from to from intro to end. Tech house. See, it was more of a tech house. That's what I was trying to remember. What I should like. There's definitely more tech house shifted into hyper techno. Now I didn't hear any metal kick bass drums. If I did, it was just blended in really well. And then you had the festival EDM for outro and song. So you had all that. And it blended really well. I have to say it did. So let's try something different here. Create a song syncing cricket sound effects with the drum beats. Let's try this. Of metal, kick, drums, dubstep, bass, and death step, glitch, bass effects. Let's try bass effects. Um, let's see what else. Yeah. Now again, this is a little complex. None of these genres are available, so it will try to do what it can. In fact, to make it, let me take out dubstep because it doesn't really do dubstep very well. All right, let's say set the drum to, I think the fastest ones, I think it's like 150. That's pretty fast. Now let's do 150. fact, we could say shift from 120 beats per minute to 100. Let's do 180, which is pretty fast beats per minute. All right, and again, this is just playing around, see what you can come up with. And this is going to leave me with 200 credits. So this will be the final, just playing around, see what we get type of thing. I actually may use one of these, but version 1 sounded a lot better than the version 2, I'm not gonna lie, which is strange, but I'll have to play through it, listen, see what I get. I might even re-engineer, mix it up, you know, which is one thing good about um, being good at music, producing music. You definitely have the skill to rearrange music portions, music beats, music loops, stuff like that. So if you don't have the skill in music, you're not going to have any range to make your song sound really good, especially when it comes to mastering. Because, like I said, a lot of this is generated at a flat equalization. And so you have to add depth to it, master it more now than ever, you know. Because like people mastered or remastered their analog music because again it sounded flat. With digital you can add depth to it. But back then it may have sounded flat because of the recording was low frequency, you know. Now you have higher frequency bit rates. You can remaster your song and give it more depth with the instruments you played. All right, version 1. Let's see how this sounds. I don't think I even added the cricket sound to it either. I think I left it out by mistake. Yeah, I think I did. That's the big oops. All right, let's do that again. Overall, that sounded, it had a little 80s mashup with early 2000s mixed to it. I don't know. I may not even like that. Um, we're going to go ahead and use our entire 200, especially since this is the end of the month. So, which I think, I don't know if it, let's see if it shows me. Uh, does it, I don't think it shows me when it renews. No, not showing me. Chances are it's going to renew next month sometime. I'm not sure when. All right, so again, load the crickets. Crickets, see, yeah, I think I forgot to upload that in there. Um, now, it added metal. Let me just take the metal out because I don't want too much metal. So we have dubstep bass, glitch bass effects. Let's do dubstep. Let's do that. See what we get. And while that's playing, let's play through this. Yeah, this got an 80s feel. Yeah, or a 90s feel. That's not bad at all. I'm not gonna lie, it ain't bad. this app is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It does play better music when it's generated compared to Suno, and that's to say that this is free, and that's some amazing stuff there. So yeah, that is amazing. Once this finishes up, we'll do our final test. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I only had 200. Okay. Well, I thought I had 200 left. Yeah, I think only. Oh, you know what? Four, three. I forgot how much I started with. Anyway, looks like it's stuck again. So we'll go back to home. Don't have no light creations or anybody liked. I don't know. Oh, going to explore. Now, we can have an idea. See, it says no copyright issues, royalty free. So, and it's interesting. So I'm not sure where it pulls its music from, but yeah. Um, and some of these people, when I'm gone, he's probably got the pro. Some of the stuff looks like it's pop and alternative, not like legit. Oh, look, somebody got crickets. Let's see how they did theirs. All right, never mind. Now, he just used the basic stuff, lo-fi, immersive, nostalgic, and heartbreaking, and came up with that. So that's how simple you can get because that's within its library, and most people just run with it. You know, let's see. Yeah, a lot of this looks like it's alternative. Let's see how this one sounds. So that sounds really good. And you can see this person knows their music. So they're actually typing in how they want it. Angel core, excuse me, celestial beat at 100 beats per minute, atmospheric funk influence, slowed, minimal, distorted kick, distorted reverb snare. And you see they're naming the instruments, and that's important. Heavenly choir pads, ambient strings, reverse vocal textures, wide cinematic mix. So all that makes important prompts. And you have to be good at this to get what you want. Because if you don't know how to say any of this, you're not gonna get what you want. And I'm just experimenting. So you have to know your music, or your instruments and stuff like that. All I'm trying to do is add crickets into the beat any means necessary if it could, blend it in. So, and it takes some time to play around it. I might even have to say, you know, um, hardcore cricket sound, sound effects mixed with the drums, or um, hardcore cricket sound effect drum kit stuff, something like that. So it does take some experimenting. And don't get me wrong, if you like a certain song, you can actually run the song through AI and say, create a prompt from this song and see what it comes up with so it can describe how the song is create it into a prompt to give you some templates. So, you can actually do that too. All right, let's go back. Go back to mine. A little experiment. There we go. Let's see what we got out of this. And then I think it made the cricket sound as an instrument. But hey, that's just how it's fired. I'm not gonna lie. That's thumbs up on that one. You see how amazing it is. But I have to simplify it even more so, just to get a first step. Now, yeah, I don't hear my crickets. Now, I will personally have to add the crickets into that track the way I want it to. But at least I have the foundational beat. So that's a plus. This song reminds me, and I think, and I can't remember, there's a track that I used to play. I think it was a drum and bass track, in fact, that had a similar sound, but it was a whole lot more distorted. I can't even think what song it was now. It's been a while. Like, I usually play music when I'm stressed out, so I don't even remember half the stuff I play. But that that subtle beat sounds very familiar from a song that I used to listen to that had a drum and bass distorted mix. It was something like that. But other than that, this sounds pretty good. I like it. Oh yeah, that's fire. Well, you know what? This has been very, very interesting. Like, I'm not gonna lie, just starting out just from the ground up without having to use any advanced instrumental language. This has been very productive and interesting because you have now created a template to advancing your tracks into something further. So the nice thing about playing around with generating music, if you know what you're doing, your output will give you a template to mix into something more advanced. Like I could take this one and say, okay, so we have tech house mixed with hyper techno, blah blah blah. Well, I can change that up. Or this one right here, you know, created a song syncing the cricket sound with effects and drum beats, dubstep bass, dubstep glitch bass effects, set the drums to shift from 120 to 180 beats per minute. So the little part where you hear the beat going pretty fast, that's the 180. And you can always get creative. And again, if you need help with naming specific instruments, you can actually take some of your favorite songs, run it to AI, and see what type of prompt it creates from how the song is built. So you can get the names of how the instruments are played, the tempo and the beat, or even the tone. So that will definitely help you out a lot. So overall, this gives me 6 songs to kind of play with. I think I'm gonna play with these two. I'm gonna have to go in and then engineer some crickets to the drum beat. I might even use both of them. I might actually make one as your as the original and the other is VIP. Then these two I might just release as is. I might just maybe label them in the 90s. It's aesthetic of old meets new. You know. And then these two here, again, this is more house. I might just put this in the house genre. I don't really mess with house, but I might just throw it in there, add it to the house genre. I might even combine them together to make one big track because they're about, let's see, it doesn't really say how long they are. But overall, that's an idea on how you can take a sound effect and then create a generated track from it. And keep in mind, it may not always come out the way you want to. So at least you'll get a creative output. But if you're good at creating music, all you have to do is go into your music editor. You have Audacity, or you can use FL Studio, which I don't think I have mine installed on here. Yeah, yeah, I haven't used FL Studio in about a year or two. Yeah, because I started noticing AI music taking off last year in Europe. So yeah, I think the last time when I made my Matrix album, I was like, I believe towards the end of 2024, and I did that at FL Studio. But anyway, you can use Audacity, FL Studio. I think it's DBase, some of the music editors out there to add some flavor to your tracks. Now, if you're really good, you can get AI to do it. But again, I wouldn't rely on that, to be honest, because it may not place the song where you want it. And most people are just accepting what they get. Now, some people are lucky, like this person here. This person is lucky with this song. Very lucky. But keep in mind, she described it almost perfectly for it to come up with something like this. Now, the title sucks. I'm not sure why she didn't change the title, but she specifically said a genre, angelcore, which never really heard of that, but I get it. Celestial is a tempo, all right, atmospheric funk influence. Actually it's a subgenre of cinematic music, and then you also have heavenly chords. That's also tied to like the ambient style genres. Reverse vocals. I didn't hear any vocals yet, but I hear the whole song either. But you get the idea. And to top it off, it's a wide cinematic mix. This is most important right here. To get this, you need to have this word in there, cinematic, because it's going to back up atmospheric. Okay, those two determine how the song's going to come out. The rest of this is more or less describing the beat, the tone of the beat, and the aesthetic of the beat and the instrument. That's all. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of how to, start from a simple track or a simple sound effect or a simple loop to work with AI to get something creative. And again, it does take a lot of generations. That was the biggest issue when AI was being shifted into media production. People was arguing, hey, well, I'm spending time regenerating stuff until I get what I like. That's still hard work. That's still time put in. It is. It's true. You're actually putting in work. You're actually using your brain to create something till you get an output. It's just like playing with Play-Doh. But, again, some people see actually creating things from instruments and other things, other tools, putting it together that doubles the time, more work. And granted, they're right about that. But as long as you're creating something that sounds professional, that's the key. It has to sound professional. It has to sound clean. You should get your credit. You should definitely get your credit. Credit is due. So that's all for today. This video ended up being longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. This is just a learning session on how to, with AI music, do it yourself.